A woman in England has a rare sleep disorder where she shops all night. A Texas library must reinstate books with butts and farts in them. And Tokyo is launching a government-created dating app to boost the birth rate. These are the weird stories from Monday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet. Meet the woman who shops in her sleep. For most people, the nightly ritual involves counting sheep. But for one lady in England, it's all about adding to her cart. Kelly Nipes is a 42-year-old mother in England. She has gained attention for her rare and extraordinary sleep disorder called parasomnia, which compels her to shop online while sleeping. Kelly suffers from a condition characterized by abnormal behaviors during her sleep. She was diagnosed in 2018. Now, this kind of disorder leads Kelly to engage in activities like walking, talking, and most unusually shopping without any awareness at all of her actions. So she's buying things while sleeping and isn't aware of it. You could solve this easily by deleting her pre-saved credit card info in the apps. That would solve it. Shut the phone off before lying down. I mean, a drastic measure would be to cut off her thumbs, but we don't probably need to go there. It might be able to be solved in a more practical way. We have a quote here from Kelly, who's just disgusted by her own behaviors, I'm sure. She says, "It's upsetting and it's frustrating going to bed thinking, I don't know what the night is going to lead to." Yeah. Kelly, I've had those same experiences, but it was because I blacked out from tequila. But it could be worse, Kelly. You could, I don't know. You could be ordering 17,000 pizzas or placing bets on sports. Prank calling 911 is a thing you could probably be doing in your sleep. At least she's not murdering anybody. Remember the sleepwalking murderer that was acquitted? Some Canadian fella, I believe. It's like 1988. From my understanding, he drove like 15 miles, murdered the person, and then still somehow got acquitted by claiming it was a sleepwalking situation. I don't know how he got away with that. Anyways, I digest. Now, we have poor Kelly here. Since her diagnosis, she's woken up to an array of unexpected deliveries to her house, including a full-sized plastic basketball court. Oh, that sounds awesome. I'd love to wake up to a full-sized plastic basketball court. Maybe not full-size. I don't have room for that, but maybe like something that could fit in a living room. I'll be dunking off the futon. She's woken up to tins of paint, books, salt and pepper shakers, a children's entire playhouse, fridges. She's ordered refrigerators. I mean, you got to put alerts on your credit card over any purchase over a certain amount, so that the next day. Stop order on fridges coming to your house, lady. She's ordered tables and hundreds of packs of Haribo candies. That sounds delicious. I'd be pleased if I woke up and I had unintentionally ordered like cases of 100 Grand bars or maybe Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. Pounds of coffee would be sweet too. You guys could mail me these things without me having to buy them in my sleep if you'd like. Just email me funnyjones@gmail.com. I'll give you my address. Okay, it says these nightly shopping sprees have amassed debts for Kelly exceeding $4,000. Yeah, shut off the phone, lady. What do you... Kelly's sleep shopping is facilitated by her saved credit card details on her phone in the apps, making transactions effortless even while asleep. Yeah, you take that out. I mean, there's very simple solutions to this problem, Kelly. I mean, I don't know why you're just living this way. And if I was your husband, I'd be like, give me your damn phone. These credit card numbers are coming out. Here's another quote from Kelly. "I was racking up debt everywhere." She's a mother of 3. This disorder poses significant challenges. Fix it, lady. Fix it. You can fix it. The shopping anyways. I mean, I don't know what you do about the other things. I don't know what else you're doing at night. Twerking. It says she discovers packages she has no memory of ordering, which is a challenge for her. Kelly claims that returning most of these items that she orders when she's snoring has been quite difficult, if not impossible. Here's another quote from Kelly. Maybe I do the English accent here. I can't refund any food purchases I've tried, like the Haribos, candies, and snacks. I kept the tins of paint in the playhouse because when they arrived and my kids saw them, I felt I couldn't return it at that point. Now, despite paying off her purchases, the impact of her disorder continues to weigh heavily on her. Kelly's sleep disorder is only exacerbated by her sleep apnea. This poor lady. Well, you can fix that with a machine. You just put a machine over your face. And you can, you can tie her arms to the bed, too. That'll stop her from shopping and make sure she doesn't get up at night to go strolling through the garden. The article goes on to explain sleep apnea, but I assume you guys know about it. It's a breathing condition where you wake up like hundreds of times during your sleep. I let a guy stay over my place when I was in college. Slept on our couch. He had sleep apnea. I'd never seen it before. This guy, Nick, man, it was obnoxious. We had to ask him if he could please leave. I felt bad. I didn't even know it was a disorder. I just thought this is the most violent snoring I've ever heard in my life. But he was a big guy, so you kind of, big guys snore a little bit. You got a big chest, you're probably going to snore. That's how I filter through that when I'm looking for a roommate. I'm like, this guy's a big guy, or he's probably a snorer. Can't live with a big guy snoring right next to my face. He doesn't sleep in the same room as me, but still, these walls are thin, man. I don't know what you can afford, but I'm broke as F. A Texas library must reinstate books with butts and farts in it, according to a court. As more and more Texas school boards seek to censor the books deemed too controversial or containing sexual content, a conservative court in Texas ruled on Friday that government entities, including public libraries, cannot simply ban or censor books they disagree with. The ruling has far-reaching implications for the broader movement in Texas to restrict books from public school shelves. I've covered stories similar to this. I believe it was Texas. It might have been some other states. It's kind of a movement here in the States to ban those books with the naughty words in it. The books got me right over there in that place right there. The books that got me. Oh, my goodness. That's a very sad state of affairs, especially in Texas, where you have situations like Uvalde, but yet Texas's priorities are to protect the kids from butts and fart books. Because if there's one thing kids don't know about, it's butts and farts. You got to get those out of the libraries. Ooh, sheesh. It says here, Texas recently has made these moves to ban books deemed too controversial, including young adult and children's books that show butts, cause sexual arousal, or depict LGBTQ plus relationships. In 2022, Texas attempted to ban more books than any other state. Way to go, Texas. Doing real problem-solving behavior. Isn't your electrical infrastructure on the fritz? Wow, that was a funny sentence. Your electrical infrastructure is on the fritz. Might want to fix that first, Texas. After all, you guys need air conditioning. It says the case itself originated from some parent complaints that books in this place called Llano County, the public library system, showed butts and farts in the books. My goodness. Yeah, well, because there's a popular book series that are funny for kids. It's really the only way you're going to get them to read books is if you make them funny. So Captain Underpants is a book series that they're into. I believe his underwear's sticking out. Something like that. I think you can see his butt crack. Really. Kids like that stuff. Anything to get the kids reading, man. Just let them have at it. Not anything, but I mean, within reason. The fact that I even know about Captain Underpants lets you know how popular the book series is. And if there's a book series that popular, then that's kind of a good thing. When I'm seeing the book at stores and whatnot, that means kids are buying books. The kids are reading books. I love that. I'm a huge book reader, always have been, but I've noticed that there's a lack of reading now in our culture, and it's quite a bit alarming. Have you spoken to a young person? It's like they have no grammar skills whatsoever. The existence of this website / app called Grammarly that I see so many advertisements for also leads me to believe that college level students can't even spell. It's like, this is why there's a need for Grammarly. They can't even put together a sentence. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs, so we should be, cultivating reading, however form it comes about. And if it's butt humor and fart humor, so what? Yeah. Oh, but what if they read about the gays? That's going to make them gay. Superstitions need to end, guys. Some of the offending book titles included a book about a farting leprechaun. Oh, that sounds hilarious. I would like to read that now. A book about a transgender teen. Oh, my. 2 books about the history of racism in the United States. They wanted to get rid of these history of racism. Because if we make the books go away, it doesn't exist. And there was a book about puberty. Oh, goodness, not a book about puberty. Why would we want the kids to know about that? If we can keep that book about puberty off the shelves, they'll never experience puberty in its full form. Now, it says here, several library patrons sued to reinstate the books, claiming the censorship violated the First Amendment. Oh, imagine that. Thinking that Texas would uphold amendments. Are you out of your mind? They don't care about stuff like that. After a district court sided with the patrons, some of the Llano residents appealed. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld an injunction to reinstate the offending books, ordering them to return to the shelves within 24 hours. Good for the court. I mean, it's a sad case of affairs that I got to applaud the court for upholding the tenets that this country was built on, but you kind of have to do that now because oftentimes they do not. The judge ruled, quote, librarians may consider books' contents in making curation decisions. Their discretion, however, must be balanced against patrons' First Amendment rights. A book may not be removed for the sole or substantial reason that the decision maker does not wish patrons to be able to access the book's viewpoint or the book's message. Now, of course, this case focuses on public libraries, but this ruling could have some implications for future lawsuits against censorship in public school libraries. In the past year alone, school boards in several counties have moved to censor titles based on subjective beliefs. Well, I enjoyed that. I like it when the good guys win. It's very rare, but maybe some of you disagree. Some parents out there, I'm not a parent, maybe you feel as though farts and butts shouldn't be available as reading material for the kids. I'll have you know, Farts and Butts has a long history in literature in the world. And fart jokes were the very first jokes ever told by man, I would imagine. Our earliest ancestors probably around a crackling fire were making fart noises and everyone was laughing. And that was like the first stand-up comedian, making fart sounds around a fire. And I think there's something to that. There's something about how much we enjoy farts deep down inside. A 2-year-old can enjoy a fart and laugh, and a 100-year-old person can also enjoy a fart and laugh about it. Yay! The Tokyo government is launching a dating app in order to boost the birth rate. It seems like a silly solution, but let's read. Maybe it's smart. I don't know. Let's not judge up top. Japan's capital will launch its own dating app as early as this summer as part of government efforts to boost the plunging national birth rate. Users will be required to submit documentation proving they are legally single and sign a letter stating they are willing to get married. I don't know how you prove you're legally single. Prove you're not married. All right, I'll take photos of my hands. There's no wedding ring. Is that good enough? Please upload your non-wedding certificate. I don't think those exist. This is a funny solution, it seems to me. They think that we need more dating apps. I think we have plenty of dating apps, and I can't imagine the government dating app working any better than the ones that we have. Governments can't even make websites that work properly. Remember the healthcare debacle? Then again, that was the U.S. Maybe Japan was better at such things. I still question the solution here because there's some underlying conditions that are keeping people from making kids, and I don't think it's, finding a partner. The people in Japan are like, we're overworked, and it's too expensive to have kids. And the government's like, we heard you're having a hard time finding a mate using your phone. Okay, we're on it. No, that's not what we said. We're overworked, and it's very expensive to have kids. Life is hard. Now it says here, you're going to have to state your income on these dating apps, but stating one's income apparently is common on Japanese dating apps. Tokyo will require a tax certificate slip to prove the annual salary on their dating app. Whoa, this sounds a little more serious. Show us a copy of your pay stubs. Here's a quote from a Tokyo government official in charge of the app. We learned that 70% of people who want to get married aren't actively joining events or apps to look for a partner. I mean, did you ever consider why they're not joining the apps that already exist? All right. The average work week in Tokyo is like 60 hours a week. Maybe give them a break, man. How about creating a mandatory siesta every day from like noon to 2, where you must go have an alcohol-infused lunch in large groups of people at bars. I mean, maybe they'll meet people and hook up at that point. I don't know. It just seems like governments have no finger on the pulse of what's going on when it comes to this declining birth rate. It's the cost of living, bro. How could you be blind to this? I really don't understand it. You know, you have to foster an environment that is procreation friendly, bro. So how about some affordable housing? What about that? I don't know. I heard there's a lot of empty houses in Japan. Maybe give them away to everybody. Free house. If you have a baby, you get a free house if you have a baby. Humans are like seabirds, man. If the nesting site isn't quite right, if the nesting conditions are volatile, then they do not breed. And that's what we're seeing right now. The article goes on to say it's not unusual for municipalities to organize matchmaking events in Japan, where births dropped to a new low in 2023. But they were finding people don't attend these because they work too much, bro. That's why they're not at these events. It says it's very rare for a local government to develop an app. And now it says, regarding the app, an interview will be required to confirm a user's identity as part of the registration process for the Tokyo app, which has been on a test run for free since late last year. Sounds like you're making a lot of hoops for the users to jump through to even get on the app. It's just going to be easier to get on the other apps already. So if they're not on there where it's easy to join, what makes you think they're going to jump through all these hoops to be on here? It says many social media users express skepticism over the plans, with one saying, quote, "Is this something the government should be doing with our tax?" Others wrote that they were interested as they would feel safer on the government app. Now, as far as some statistics go, last year Japan recorded more than twice as many deaths as new babies. Births fell for the 8th consecutive year to 758,000, a drop of 5%, according to government data. The number of deaths stood at about 1,600,000. The nation is facing growing labor shortages, and Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has promised policies including financial aid for families, easier childcare access, and more parental leave. And, I mean, they're obviously hoping that they can have an influx in baby slaves by creating this app, TokyoOnly.com, whatever this is. Are you ovulating? Swipe right. Yay! Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you had a nice weekend. And thanks for spending some time with your buddy Jonesy and the Weird AF News podcast. I got some really amazing reviews on Amazon. I'm not sure if I already read some of these, so it might be a repeat, but I believe these are all new. Let's read them. They're all 5 stars, too. Let's get that out of the way, which really made me smile. So I want to thank everybody for giving me 5-star reviews on Amazon. Nick Devlin wrote, "Great podcast. Jonesy, the man in the closet, is very funny and adds joy and laughter to my morning. I highly recommend this podcast." No, I think I read that one by Nick. But anyways, I'll read it again. Shout out to Nick again. Thank you for that. Cassandra Inglesby, who is a longtime listener of the show. I'm familiar with Cassandra. She wrote, "Daily listener. I've been listening to the show daily for years. The host of the show, Jonesy, is charismatic and raw. Jonesy gives his improvised reactions while reading weird news articles from around the world and only from Florida on Fridays. This comes in the forms of jokes, puns, personal stories, songs, impressions, and other randomness. There are many ways to participate in the show, too, such as sending articles and feedback via email or DMs and calling into the show, which is published at the end of the show, making repeat callers into recurring characters. Weird AF News is a needed palate cleanser from the depressing political news in my newsfeed. I recommend listening to the show daily to keep up to date on what's going on in the world that you might not hear on mainstream media and to pick up on inside jokes and callbacks to previous episodes. Thanks for doing this podcast and good luck with your life, man. Wow, Cassandra, that was a fabulous review. It's almost as though you write these as a professional gig. Are you a professional review writer? Did you hear what she was writing? It was amazing. It's really highlighting what goes on in the show. I could use this as the official show description, what Cassandra just wrote. So thank you, Cassandra. That was awesome. April Harkness wrote, elevate your mood the drug-free way. Feeling down? Tune in. Jonesy's infectious enthusiasm and offbeat humor will lift one's spirits faster than a helium balloon. Plus, I love his silly puns and singing. He's actually really good. If you are ever in Chi-Town, let's do some karaoke, Jonesy. It's like a comedy club. This is like a comedy club for your ears, this podcast, minus the 2-drink minimum. Yeah, April, if I'm in Chi-Town, we'll do karaoke. Please let me know what your karaoke go-to song was, or is, rather. I'll tell you mine. Glenn Simons, or Simmons? I think it's Simons. This kid is funny. He called me a kid. Oh, that's cool. I guess I sound like a kid with my voice, but not a kid, Glenn, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Listen to this daily as part of my start my day routine. He finds the most off-the-wall stories in this messed up world and makes it hilarious while talking about them. Nice job, Jonesy. Wow. Nice job, Glenn, on a very concise and just awesome review. I appreciate that. And thanks for calling me a kid. Someone named Placeholder wrote a review called Thankful for All of the Weirdness. Jonesy, you are absolutely hilarious. I look forward to listening to all the weirdness this world has to offer, and I truly hope people continue to send these to you so you can share them. On a side note, you ever seen 8-Legged Freaks? It's a B-rated movie. Check it out. The character Harlan Griffith, played by Doug E. Doug, that's sort of how I pictured you when I first listened. All right, 8-Legged Freaks. Now, I've never seen it, but I would check it out. I like weird B-rated movies. I really do. There's a lot of movies. You guys ever go to Tubi? It's like a free site to watch movies. There's some really hilarious bad movies on there, and sometimes I'll just put on a really bad, purposely bad movie just because it's just so funny. You know, like a movie like Samurai Cop or something like that. They're just hilarious. I love a good, dumb, hilarious B-rated movie. So I'm going to check out 8-Legged Freaks. Thank you, Placeholder. That's a very cool profile name too. Anyways, that was all the reviews that came in, and I want to thank you so much for writing those. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. It's very, very helpful to have good show ratings, and mine go up and down. So I don't know if it affects the number of people that get exposed to it or listen to it. I think it does. So appreciate that. If you want to leave a review, you can do so on Amazon and iTunes, also known as Apple Podcasts. If you're listening on Spotify, you can give it just some stars, which takes a second. So please do that. Please follow on Spotify and give the 5 stars. It doesn't take long at all. You don't need to write anything. You can't write anything. So anyways, I appreciate everybody. If you want to support the show, check out my website, weirdafnews.com, where you can buy Jonesy a coffee, which I might spend on beer. Or you can join my Patreon, which I highly recommend. I appreciate you all and your time, and good luck with your life, man.